I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app,
Wilde and Tausch,
and ESPN Medicine on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This
EXTPros.com today. Exterior pros and baths. Big savings done right.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky, it might be almost to the point of Ruth?
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Of the open free agent negotiating window, and the Packers were busy edition. Mostly a one-way street out of town edition. The what are your takeaways? What did we learn from yesterday's maneuvers edition? And some late breaking news this morning. Goodbye, Nate Hobbs, we hardly knew you. Welcome to Green Bay, Benjamin St-Juste edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And, of course, everything you need on the incredible, awesome, amazing ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can download in both the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay, where there are a lot of people who are no longer in Green Bay, and one new person coming to Green Bay as of right now. Jesse Nelson is on some sort of assignment. I don't know if he's recovering from Bullstream TV or what, but in his stead is our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. The Superman aficionado himself, Hunter Vaughn. Hunter, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Outstanding. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. So who's this cat we just signed?
He's tall. He's 6'3".
Physical?
Which is, I have not broken down the film yet, although I have clearly, thanks to you, developed a reputation as a film guy when they add a corner because of your emphasis on the extensive workup I did on Nate Hobbs, including that great game he never had against the Arizona Cardinals. Because there's a Twitter account, Packers Home, who sent me, Jason, you're a big film guy, so here you go, and a variety of clips of Benjamin St-Juste during his time with the Commanders when he joined the Chargers. So I'll have to do a little more extensive work than the 94 seconds that were sent to me. But
okay.
Nate Hobbs now has been informed of his release, and the Packers are going to make him a post-June cut, which would free up more salary cap space for right now, but obviously push more into the future.
That's kind of what I thought when
there was that debate both about Banks and Hobbs. And, for Hobbs, it just didn't work. I don't know if it was a miscast where we were going to play him. Obviously, injuries affected where he was at. And it tells me, obviously, we need to get better in the secondary. I don't know.
Need more people,
if,
period.
What's St-Juste? What's his name? St-Juste? What is it?
All right, it's ST-JUSTE. So, as I said on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, I rely on Big Cat Josh DiMaggio for all my pronunciation information. So I don't know if it's like the juice is loose, juice, or the T is silent or not. I'm working on that.
So Ashton Rotman and I found a video of him introducing himself, and he says Benjamin St-Juste.
Jews?
Yeah.
Jews. Like Jew.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you
So
dump
that's
in
how I
roast
said
beef.
it on my Sports Center, because that's at least the way it sounded when he himself
I love a good
said
French
it.
dip.
All right. Well, I'll say you always should trust what the player calls himself, because that's typically what he wants to be called. So we'll go with St-Juste.
Mike Trouser.
So I wonder. I mean, obviously he is going to 2 years, $10 million, $5 a year, which is I don't know,
Popcorn
less than
money?
what they paid Hobbs. No, it's more than popcorn money, but it's something that you're anticipating him being on the field, whether it's in nickel or, if he pops, all of a sudden maybe it could be a spot where he's more. Again, this is going to, my guess, put more pressure on what the Keyshawn Nixon scenario is going to play out, because I can't imagine Keyshawn making $4 million a year he's making. I doubt he's going to say, yeah, I'll be the number one corner, and I'm going to make less than St-Juste. You just picked him up. I could be wrong. I'm not going to be, but I could be. So the secondary is, I think still a concern. But what this tells me is that Brian Gutekunst isn't going to sit there. He's going to Ron Wolf this. He's not going to let, because he made a decision, he's just going to let it ride. You see something that didn't work, and you say, I've had it, let's move on. That is a hard thing to do as a general manager, especially when you're going out into the free agency world. So I think the one thing you can say about Brian Gutekunst, now we're going to have this discussion later about the offensive line. I think you could say he's not stuck to any one thing. He will make moves, and if they don't work, he will move off of them quickly. He's done it with the place kicker. He's done it with the backup quarterback position. And now he is doing it in the secondary, because this group last year, while I don't think they were bad by any stretch, they weren't good enough. And hopefully this St-Juste will come in and do something and be able to stay healthy and be more productive than what Hobbs was, because I think Hobbs, outside of being the PR agent for Keyshawn, I think he did bring. He was. I think what they wanted was the dog. I think they liked the dog. You saw it when you watched film, and unfortunately, he never really got into a rhythm to be able to be that guy for this defense. And instead of Goody hoping that it might turn, he said, "It's time to turn the page. Let's do something different."
I also think it's interesting that he was a slot guy for his entire time in Vegas, and the theory was that he was going to move outside. Keyshawn Nixon was able to do that. We never really figured out, because of the injuries and everything else, if Nate Hobbs could. But once he had the injury issues, what happened? You saw a guy who I think they are really, really, really excited about and really high on in Javon Bullard become the slot guy, and he's that guy now. Like, they're not looking for other options there. Obviously, they have to have depth for if something happens to a very physical player in Javon Bullard. But beyond that, like, he was kind of a man without a country even once he became healthy, because despite the inconsistent tackling we saw from Carrington Valentine, he was a better cover option outside than Nate Hobbs was, and obviously Keyshawn Nixon was their number one. I do I think it's interesting that it's 2 years, $10 million for St-Juste, because if you had brought in a corner, and maybe they still will, right? We don't know what is around the corner, pun not intended.
Woolen, what the cat? Who's the cat that everybody is linking
Woolen?
to? Woolen. Okay.
But again, I'm not saying that Goody flat out said he's not going to sign real unrestricted free agents, but he talked about this at the Combine. The compensatory pick thing is real.
No doubt.
You see Kingsley Enagbare depart on a 1-year, $10 million deal. This signing does not hurt them from a equation for compensatory picks. And assuming Romeo Doubs...
They need Sheeto to get a big boy deal.
And
I don't
Sheeto
think they're
get
getting
Jock.
a third... I don't think they're going to get a third-round pick with what Malik Willis's contract. I think that's going to be a fourth. That's according. I think Spoon does a really good job with that. I think he put that out into the Twitter sphere. We don't know for sure because I think it's all a compilation. Right?
Playing time is also a factor, and if he starts all the games, it should go up to a third, is what I was told.
Okay, good.
So you got that going for you, which is nice. Sure. And also, by the way, Quay Walker's deal was higher than a lot of people expected it to be. There were people projecting that his compensatory pick value would be like a 6th rounder. He got, as you like to say, broke off by the
He'll get
Raiders.
a 5th. That'll be a 5th, I would think, for him.
Yep.
Which is great. And you can only get 4. So all of this, you can only get 4 comp picks.
Correct.
So we don't need to sit here and just continue to run up the scoreboard. Like, I don't think we need to have, 7 or 8 guys, end up getting signed. You mentioned Enagbare. You can sign people. Now, you don't want to go out if you're really focused on getting those comp picks, which I know Green Bay wants. But if there is a corner or a defensive tackle or someone that can make a big impact on this football team, they should go and get them. Whether or not that is going to be how it plays out or if it's going to be a trade, because as we see Goody not signing Enagbare, which I don't love. I thought that was I know $10 million, but I think he would have had definitely a role that would have sufficed to pay him $10 million. He would have been the third guy, and with the injury factor to Micah, that tells me that they were okay. I don't know who and what that replacement is going to look like, but I thought J.J. Enagbare with Micah probably missing most of September, and with a LVN being semi-unproven, I didn't think that was – I thought that would have been worth a flyer to keep at that price point. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Goody did not, because that wouldn't hurt your compensatory pick package.
Correct.
It's somebody you know, but 1 year, $10 million, that's not how Green Bay wants to do business. They want to be able to spread the cap out and figure it out, and so JJ's obviously betting on himself going to New York, dominating and getting a big fat deal, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm. So we'll discuss more on what went on yesterday, and of course we'll have updates throughout the show today as the free agency open negotiating window is open for a second day. I do want to get into a question that you posed after the show that I think is really interesting, which we will get to. I do want to ask you this. Were you surprised, as I was talking to Bill Huber last night from Sports Illustrated, I'm not sure I was completely surprised that Romeo Doubs didn't find a home on day one, but I was definitely surprised that Sheeto didn't. Were you?
Yeah. I think, and again, this is why media reports and everything else, yes, there's a lot of validity to a lot of it, but I think Sheeto, there is this, perception, because the same conversations that I have about Jalen Carter and about others is, if you have a franchise left tackle that's going into his 5th year and has played as many games, why doesn't Green Bay want to pay him? Mm-hmm. If I'm Chicago, or if I'm New England, or if I'm the teams that have kind of been linked, Cleveland has been linked to him, I'm asking those questions too.
Right.
And it's not a slight, it's the reality of how the NFL works. So, in Shido's case, I think he is going to get paid. I don't know if it's going to be it's not going to be Linderbaum money. I don't know if he's going to get into that mid-20s. Maybe it will. I hope for him it is, and I hope for Green Bay it is. But my guess is they're pushing. His camp is going to push, and eventually people are going to back away, and you're going to be where you're going to be. And if you had the anticipation you were going to get 25 or 26, and you're only getting to 21 or 22, you have to kind of weather that. Have your, Shido, the expectations that he was going to get 26, 27, that might be part of it. Or it could be on the flip side, and there's 3 teams that are just railing this thing up, which is what I hope happens. I doubt that is the case. But you could look at it from both perspectives. My guess is that he will sign somewhere in that low 20s, and it will be a good spot for him to get, kind of his career where there is a full-on embrace of him as your blindside tackle, which really, since Jordan Morgan got drafted, there never has been in Green Bay.
I have another question for you. Why would you go anywhere other than Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for your new windows?
Well, you never should in our homes. Boy, I'll tell you what, if you don't believe about the weather in Wisconsin, just wait and see. Yesterday, 60-some-odd degrees, beautiful out. Rainstorm tonight, snowstorm coming later this week. The weather, you need to be prepared. That's why you need Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They focus on quality and durability in everything they do. The right windows and doors will vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. And with Pella, you will get those expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and within your budget. Don't miss out on 0% financing all the way till 2032. I don't think anybody's getting contracts all the way to 2032. You can with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The offer ends March 31st. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
We'll get ready to talk to Evan Cohen, who's coming up a little bit later. Free agency rolls on in the NFL. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Mark Tauscher here. People ask, why did I join UW Credit Union? Well, let's break it down. Convenient local branches, easy to use mobile banking app, rewards checking with early payday, and that beautiful Bucky debit card. Also, they've been serving Wisconsin since 1931, which means they have local expertise that's actually local. So stop by a branch or visit uwcu.org to join today and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princely Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Wilde and Tausch with Hunter Vaughn in as our cousin sub of the day for Jesse. We'll talk to Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike coming up. All right, so Tausch, I just want to kind of tease this so we don't get Evan mad at us by being late when we get to him. But I thought this was a great question. I gave it a lot of thought, which some might accuse me of not always doing. You asked the top 3 things we learned about the Packers and Goody and whatever else it might be from the first day of the legal tampering, a phrase that I don't like, open negotiating window for free agency. We will save our second and thirds for after we talk to Evan. But what was the biggest thing you thought you learned?
The biggest thing that I think I took away from this is, well, it's kind of twofold, but it's that Goody thinks that this offensive line is going to be good enough. Most of us kind of thought, because, correct me if I'm wrong, they re-signed Darian Kinnard yesterday, right?
Reportedly, yes, indeed.
Yeah, reportedly. I know nothing is like concrete until it is, but all of us have been sitting here, and along that, my dual-pronged is Brian Gutekunst still believes in his first-round picks, because the decisions that he has made in letting guys go and in bringing guys back is that he believes in his first-round picks. Those two guys are going to be instrumental in how this team is going to plug along next year. They're both going to be asked in critical roles, pass rusher and a blindside protector. They're going to be tasked with huge jobs, and both have been unproven. And Brian Gutekunst believes in both. That's what I've learned. That is the biggest takeaway that I've learned from how the Green Bay Packers have addressed their, free agency period so far. Now, all of that could change if we get a breaking news thing and Cheeto's market isn't what it thought, and they sign it for $16 a year. All of a sudden, then I will rescind. But as we're sitting here right now, you feel like he is all in on his first-round picks, which he should be. And he feels like this offensive line, while it's taken a lot of shrapnel, and they did not change coaches, they feel like they can be better. And whether or not that is going to be accurate, we shall find out. That is a big dice roll. I would argue, and I know we're not getting into our second and third, I would argue that this is almost assuredly saying that there is going to be, in one of their first 2 draft picks, it will be an offensive lineman. That is what I have learned. So I am going to give you my 1 and 2 because they correlate with each other. Well, that's what I'm doing. I didn't think we were going to do this right before EVCO, but since we are,
I just wanted to tease it. So
I'll tease the third one, which is pretty simple. But the first 2, that's what I've learned about Brian Gutekunst and where the Packers' direction is so far.
I want to take calls on this as well after we're done with Evans, so that's why I wanted to set the stage early. I'll say this. We heard Goody reiterate again. In fact, he rounded even further down on this statistic now. It has gone from 1.6 players who are retained from each draft class with a second extension, second contract, to 1.5. So, it's just decreasing. But, look, I don't have any problem. You and I both feel very strongly about Elgton. He's one of our favorite guys. I have no problem with what they did yesterday. They cleared $19 million.
The writing was on the wall when they didn't redo his deal last year.
Yep.
The writing was on the wall.
Yep. And had he stayed healthy, maybe it has a different ending, but probably not.
Maybe. I think that this, if he played healthy and at like an all-pro level, I think they would have paid him and kept him. Yep. But that, unfortunately, wasn't how it played out. And, again, that's the risk both sides take when you don't kind of come to terms with that. But I think that was, Elgton had been dinged up a bunch. He blew his knee out, and there's other things. And Goody is just not he's not in the sentimental business. And that can be a tough thing. Really nice note that he wrote. On
are we sure he wasn't hacked?
You'll have to ask him. I don't know. But it was nice that he gave Elgton some flowers on the way out because Elgton, unfortunately, that is the tough part of this business because, man, they showed his stats of where he played. And for him to be able to do that is so special. He was a special player. And I hope he can continue and go get paid and go play good football somewhere else. But for when they drafted him, and I could tell because you talk to the guys that were in that room, you could talk to Balaga, they all knew he was the guy.
Yeah.
They knew he was going to be a really good player. And players know better than anybody else. And they knew it, and Elgton was. And it just sucks when injuries take some of that away because I do think he was on, and I think after about year 2 or 3, I said – his trajectory was Hall of Fame, not Packers Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame, and unfortunately that was probably derailed by too many injuries.
So they release him and they trade Rashawn Gary. Again, moves that make perfect sense. Still can't believe they got a 4th rounder for Rashawn Gary when
neither could Skip Bayless. Skip has become a big Packer fan lately.
Certainly a critic of his hometown Cowboys. But I just think this underscores Goody's philosophy, right? I mean, he's now moved on from 5 of his 10 first-round picks during his time. The fact that he was not paying Quay Walker,
Jason, quick question on that, because that 5 out of 10, is that how he wants it, or is that because he hasn't drafted well enough?
Well, I think it's because he hasn't drafted well enough, but Ted Thompson didn't draft well enough in the first round either. I think you have to be legitimately special, or he has to have a very clear need to give out a second contract now. That appears to be his philosophy. And they were never, I mean, you and I both loved the idea of Tyler Linderbaum in Green Bay. He got an insane amount of money. I mean, $81 million and 60 of it is fully guaranteed.
Really well done. Yeah, great job by everybody but Baltimore on that.
So the Packers got a much less expensive but not as good alternative, and I think this is what I wrote for Channel 3000. It really does underscore what his philosophy is, because look, both those guys that they moved on from yesterday got second contracts. And much like Jair's, you kind of feel like, well before you got to the end of it, you kind of regretted it. And so I think it's only going to further make him more reluctant. And there's a quote, I used it in the story, 26 to 29. He flat out said the age range that he wants players. 26 to 29. Those are your elevator
But when you asked
years,
him about 30,
some might say.
When you asked him about 30, he scoffed at you.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? But then a few weeks later, he flat out said 26 to 29. So we will get further into this.
By the way, I'm always pro player. Totally agree with that philosophy. Totally agree.
You stay the healthiest, you're most productive. I still think of all your analogies, the elevator years is the GOAT of your analogies. But I do think that there are guys that merit maybe not sticking as closely to that. We'll see if Zaire Franklin fits that bill, because he's an outlier, acquiring him shortly before his 30th birthday. We need to get to Evan Cohen, and Tausch needs to tell us about Prize Picks.
Well, it is the best time of year. Conference tournaments. March Hoops is here. It is one of the best times to be watching sports. And when you're watching sports, there is nothing more fun than downloading the Prize Picks app, using that code WI, and you'll get $50 in lineups for free when you play that first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI. And every dunk, every three, every big performance matters even more. And it is simple to play. More or less, 2 to 6 player stat projections. You're right. You cash in. Download that Prize Picks app again today. Use code WI. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI. Prize Picks is good
to be right. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously. Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 5 locations in the Milwaukee area. At Johnson Fitness and Wellness, you'll find top-rated treadmills, strength equipment, ellipticals, bikes, and more, all guided by certified fitness experts who match the right equipment to your goals, space, and budget. And with white glove delivery and installation, plus flexible financing options, you can build your home gym with confidence. Visit one of their stores today or online at johnsonfitness.com.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in the ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
Let's talk about Home Turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country. Shop in-store or online at johnsonfitness.com.
Joining us now on the Yuengling Hotline. I'm on the Yuengling Hotline a lot. Joined Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, and I did not realize how exciting it is that Yuengling is now in Wisconsin. I've had a bunch of our fans who listen to our shows talking about how exciting it is that the pride of Pottsville, Pennsylvania has now made its way to Wisconsin, and we're talking about it all the time because it is the Yuengling Hotline. And joining us on it now is Unsportsmanlike's Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch. Evan, good morning. How are you?
Wilde, Tausch, Hunter, how's everybody?
Hey, so as a guy who famously, and I've seen the video, was going to NFL drafts with his spiral-bound notebook and writing things down. You're a draft and develop guy, apparently. But how do you feel about the free agency frenzy in the NFL and how it compares to the hot stove league of baseball? And you're an NBA guy, and we know, Lord knows, the thing we talk about most in the NBA is where players are going next, not where they are currently. How does it compare?
Right. Well, it's dumb, honestly. Like, it's simultaneously great and dumb. I mean, Adam Schefter was on with us. No, I mean, well, I'll tell you. Adam Schefter this morning told us on Unsportsmanlike at 6 a.m. on ESPN Wisconsin that he's sick of calling it the legal tampering period. He's just not going to do it anymore. And free agency began yesterday, and that it basically ends tomorrow. Like, the wave of free agency. That doesn't mean, obviously, the biggest move, arguably, in the NFL offseason last year was by the Green Bay Packers. It happened in August, right? But that was not a free agent move. So it's just, every sport has these weird quirks of, like, really, this is how we're going to do it? NBA draft, where the guy puts on the wrong hat.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest thing ever, right? So, like, legal tampering. Like, sure, things could fall through. I'm not saying that that's impossible, but I would say it's similar in that it has its quirks. It's different in years past in that people would look at it and say, oh, big spending means you're not going to necessarily win. That was not the case last year. So the last year, in many ways, threw it off because I believe New England and Seattle were in the top 5 of spend in March of a year ago, and obviously both ended up in the Super Bowl.
Evan, when you look at what the biggest headlines were of yesterday, I mean, speaking of teams that win the offseason, the Raiders spent, like $1 billion or pretty close to it on their guys. What were the things that stood out the most with you, especially in your conversations with Adam Schefter?
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders obviously spent a ton. I understand what they did. It's not what I would have done. I would have taken an Oklahoma City Thunder approach to their team building and asked the Dolphins for Tua, and I would have taken on a second-round pick. I would have traded out of the number 1 overall slot for multiple picks. I have now come to the conclusion that if it's your pick, picking number 1 overall, you should not pick a quarterback. If it's someone else's pick, you can. But if based on your own pick that you, quote-unquote, earned, that tells you you're not ready for a quarterback.
Evan, why do you say
overall,
that? Can
That's
you explain
really interesting.
Your one?
Okay.
I don't understand either.
All right, yeah. So there are, my notes are in my bag, but there are 4 quarterbacks, I believe, in history that have ever been drafted by the team that earned the pick that made it to the Hall of Fame with that team. There are, I believe, 3 quarterbacks in the last, 30 years that have won a Super Bowl
Peyton Manning,
with the team that drafted
who? Peyton? Who else?
Yep.
Who are the 4?
That won a Super Bowl with the team that drafted them, you're saying?
Yeah.
Or Hall of Fame?
One that
Hall of Fame. So
well,
Terry
you
Bradshaw,
said won a Super Bowl. Bradshaw, okay.
Yep. I'm at a red light. I can get you my notes here in a second. So,
no, you're good. Keep going. It's I had never heard it said that way because everybody assumes that number 1 quarterback spot gives you, that stability. Obviously, that is not the case, and I'm going to think on who those other 2 are. But continue with your point. It's I've never heard anybody say this before.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Okay. Since 1970, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, the only 3 that have won the Super Bowl with the team that drafted them, number 1 overall as the starter. Okay, Eli and John Elway are catches on that, right? Because they've won Super Bowls being drafted number 1, never playing a game prior.
Yep.
But technically, right? That's the whole Caleb Williams thing. Everybody's like, oh, Caleb's off to a great start. He is. Wasn't their pick. It was Carolina's pick, right? Since 2001, Cam Newton, Jared Goff, and
No, he's right.
That matters.
Okay,
that matters
okay.
Because number one overall indicates historically bad. Number 9 overall indicates a bad year. There's a difference. So since 2001, Cam Newton, Jared Goff, and Joe Burrow are the only 3 quarterbacks drafted 1 overall to lead their team to a Super Bowl. They didn't win, obviously. And do you know the last 7 number 1 overall picks at the quarterback position have now not reached the age of 30 with the team that they're on?
I thought, didn't Goff get traded? Wasn't there a bunch of picks traded to get Goff, or am I misremembering that?
That wasn't their pick. That's a good point. Yeah, so it was not their pick.
Okay. Yeah,
that was not their pick.
Sure.
Right. So, okay, in terms of other teams that I liked, by the way, yesterday, I actually love what Big Mike did. I love what Pittsburgh did. Sliding right under the radar and saying, oh, so, Indy, you want to pay the guy who did play for Coach Fickell in his senior year, Alex Pierce, you want to pay that kind of dollar figure for your number 2 receiver? Cool. We'll take your number 1 receiver, and we'll give him number 2 money or 1B money in 3 years, 60. I love Rico Dowdle at the running back position, who I believe I love him as a big bruising back, especially in Pittsburgh, and I'm pretty sure Mike had him in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. And so I love that. And so what they've done is if Aaron doesn't want to come back, they've made it QB friendly for whoever that next QB is. When was the last time you felt that way about Pittsburgh? So I like what they did. I love what Kansas City did. I don't like the idea of drafting a running back in the top 10, which a lot of people thought they were going to draft Jeremiah Love. The reason I don't like it is because you have to give your top 10 pick a second contract. A second contract for a running back 4 years in, 5 years in is way too much money. So getting Kenneth Walker for 2 to 3 years is better than Jeremiah Love and, quote-unquote, failing on a first-round pick because you can't give him that second contract. Plus, they go out there and, Kelsey comes back. Kairos Tonga is a guy that plays nose, can play defensive tackle, but also has played fullback. I like him for Kansas City. So those are the teams I like a lot. I think the Giants had a good day yesterday, bringing in Isaiah Likely. I don't love what Washington did. I thought they were overspending. And I'm not mad. Like, if I'm a Packers fan sitting here today, I see a lot of familiar names, from Nate Hobbs to Elgton Jenkins to Quay Walker to all these guys leaving. I don't know that I'm, devastated. I'm just kind of waiting for, all right, what's Goody up to?
Yeah, I was listening yesterday, and Canty was raving about the move the Cowboys made at picking up Rashawn Gary. And I was kind of taken back because, and you pushed back on it because, you're on ESPN Wisconsin a bunch. I was shocked. I think Jason was shocked. Our fans were shocked that we got a 4th-round pick. Like, he announced his being released or leaving Green Bay on a Friday, and we're all thinking, well, nobody's taking that contract on. Green Bay is not going to keep him at that. And I thought maybe a 7th, and Jerry Jones done it again by giving the Green Bay Packers a 4th. What was Canty's point on that? Is he's a big Rashawn Gary believer, or what was that?
Yeah, I think basically what he said was if he's good, that what is it, $18 million price tag? Is that what it is?
Yes, that's his base salary this year. Yep.
Yeah. So his point was if you get the productivity you're supposed to get from a 1st-round pick as an edge player, it's worth more than $18 million. His whole thing is always $2 million a sack. So, like, if he gets 10 sacks for the Cowboys, that's a value play.
Well, he's never done that. He's never done that in his career yet.
No, I wouldn't. And I obviously consume a lot of ESPN Wisconsin and follow so many people on social media. By the way, if you want to follow Michelle Smallman on social media, at Evco Radio. But anyway, so I just figured that would get me more
she got hacked? Did Rashawn Gary's hacker get her?
No. But anyway, I think that was his thought process. I follow too many Packers fans and Packers
wait a second. You just glossed over that. First off, it was a fun joke. You can laugh. It's all right to laugh, Evan, when something's funny. And so can you tell us why Smallman is now Evco?
It's not real. I just feel like I'll get more followers if people think they're getting her content over mine. That's why I promote her Twitter as my handle.
That's fun. Okay, good work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think the hacker joke was better, frankly.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my hacker joke that got no reaction, but okay, fair enough. Continue.
Anyway, well, I gave the point. There's really nothing more. What do you want me to make up more that Canty didn't say? I mean, it's what he said.
Continuing with Evan Cohen on the Yuengling hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America and now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. All right, Evan, I am fascinated, and Tausch and I talked a little bit about it before you came on. The moves, to your point, I don't know if anyone who left Green Bay yesterday, Packers fans are devastated by. I told KBN that if there's one guy that I'm nervous about going somewhere else and really blossoming, it's Quay Walker. I think, first of all, if you look at his age, you look at his production, I think Elgton Jenkins still has plenty of good years left in him just because he's old by Packers standards. I think he's going to go somewhere and be a really good left guard for someone. But it's Quay Walker who I think was on the precipice of becoming a really good player and finally everything clicking. And I wouldn't have paid what the Raiders paid him if I was Goody either. So with all those departures, how do you view the Packers? Because I think Josh DiMaggio feels this way. I think Tausch feels this way. There's a feeling of there's got to be something coming here. Do you get that same vibe? Because for a Super Bowl contender, it does feel like a pretty big mass exodus.
Well, but it is interesting, Jason, because if you look over the last 12 months, they have brought in players that at one point or another were literally the best players on their side of the ball, right? Obviously, Micah. Zaire Franklin was literally the best defensive player on the Colts, right? Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is they've let guys walk that you feel like could amount one day to be the best player on one side of the ball. But the guys they've brought in are literally the best player on that side of the ball. So maybe it's more of we're not going to deal in upside as much as we're going to deal with practically this is what this guy is, and he is now what the other guy could be, but not definitely will be, right? So I don't know if you believe that is a theme, and you're going to start looking at whether it's Trey Hendrickson, obviously across that defensive line at the end position, other players that you're going to look at and say, who would resemble – well, nobody resembles Micah, but conceptually, who would resemble Micah? Who would resemble Zaire Franklin? And are those the guys that maybe the Packers are going to bring in. My favorite non-quarterback in the entire league is Trent Williams, the left tackle for the 49ers. I don't think the Packers are going to get him, but that's somebody, if Walker leaves, that I would certainly want if I'm the Green Bay Packers. So are there other guys like that are best player on a certain side of the ball that maybe they could bring in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, what about like a Jalen Carter? Because Philadelphia has been eerily quiet. They signed their other defensive tackle.
Jordan Davis.
Rumor has been. I don't see that coming to fruition.
I don't see
but
them
Philly,
trading him.
You don't see Philly trading Jalen Carter?
No. When I say best player on their side of the ball, well, he would fit that. I mean, if you want to go back to something that Canty said, Jalen Carter has best.
He's what? I didn't catch what Evan said.
Yeah, I think we lost him. I think we lost him.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like right on my edge, like, what?
Jalen Carter has a...
there was another thing, and I don't know if we'll get Evco back, but the other thing that I was intrigued by, what he and Shefty were saying today, was Minnesota. Because Minnesota, they battled last year, obviously beat us.
Yeah.
One of the most meaningful
thank God I was there. Glad I was there.
It's great that you covered that from start to finish. The quarterback spot, he did not mention one Aaron Charles Rodgers as a option. Russ Wilson was brought up before Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to be Kyler Murray.
I think so, too.
When Shefty brought that up and did not do that, I thought, very interesting. I don't know if you found that as interesting as I did, but I did find that interesting.
Evan, you said Jalen Carter, and then we lost you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Great cheese. So Jalen Carter, per Canty, played defensive line in the NFL for 11 years, and you watch him and you can feel this way. Jalen Carter has best defensive player in the league capabilities, not best defensive player on his team capabilities. So if you're So if you're the Eagles, I need to get Max Crosby, Micah Parsons turn for me to even consider moving a guy like that. So I don't see. Now, if Goody pulls that off, oh my God.
Yeah.
That'd be unbelievable.
Well, we don't have
able to pull that off.
Yeah,
well,
and I doubt that is
going
to be the case.
Trade.
You don't have a first-round pick in either of the next two drafts. Yeah, it's not going to happen, but it's been reported, and I do think Philly trades him at some point. I don't think they're going to pay him the Bonko dollars, and I would be looking. I don't know where Chicago's at. Chicago was in the Max Crosby. They need pass rush. I think Philly will, for the right price, be more than happy to trade Jalen Carter. Maybe that's something to watch. The last thing, Evan, from me, I heard you with Shefty this morning talking about Minnesota's quarterback situation. No Aaron Rodgers mentioned, but Russ Wilson mentioned.
I thought that was
interesting.
I thought that.
Me too.
That was we picked up on that as well. Yeah. So Minnesota quarterback position. So let's rewind to yesterday. Dan Graziano joined us, ESPN NFL reporter, at 6:15 on ESPN Wisconsin AM, and he said basically the quarterback market starts with whoever gets Minnesota. So what's interesting about that is that tells you Tua had no market because he didn't wait. He's like, oh, wait, this team wants me? I'll go to Atlanta, right? Malik Willis obviously was in a different conversation because Malik Willis is looking for money, not as much opportunity, understandably so, because he's never made that kind of money, right? Miami's not the best opportunity. Miami's the best money. So all year long I've been saying Kyler. I've heard recently that Minnesota really likes Geno Smith, which makes sense. Professional, smart quarterback, right? But it seems like Kyler is going to be the guy there. But Shefty slipping in Russ, I thought was very interesting as a possibility. Now, the Russ possibility would allow for a better chance of McCarthy to win the job, I think, than the other two. So maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe Aaron has not expressed the interest in Minnesota because of McCarthy. But I thought that was very interesting. I would have liked, if Russ is going to be a backup, I would have liked to have seen him go to Carolina because he has a relationship with Canales, who he worked with in Seattle, and that's obviously where he's from. But I thought that was, or not Carolina, went to college, obviously, before Wisconsin. He's from Virginia, but you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah, if they went with Russ in Minnesota, that would be very, very, very interesting. But I guess Rodgers is going back to Pittsburgh, right? I'll tell you, I'm fascinated. Maybe Tom got my mind rolling on this. I'm fascinated by the Packers' backup quarterback situation because backup quarterbacks in Packers history have usually fared pretty damn well, to say the least. So, and even if you want to say, well, Matt Flynn was a bust in Seattle, Matt Flynn is certainly going to be living life well because of Seattle, that's for sure. So, I mean, Tausch, you're throwing out there Justin Fields. What about Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, but it'll cost. I don't know what that price point is, and he's still on a rookie deal, which most of the time is good, but in this case it isn't. I don't know what his number is salary-wise. I want Justin Fields on a 2-year, low salary. Prove it. You're at the bottom right now. You bring a skill set that is different than Jordan Love, which I think Matt LaFleur likes, and you can build him back up. You can prove as a coach that you can develop quarterbacks. You've done it already. Everybody that is down on the Justin Fields thought, and Cap called me, said, you're an idiot. The ESPN 1000 guys have said, what the heck are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. I am not saying that he's going to be a big boy starter again in this league, but can he be a serviceable backup that can win you a few games? Abso-blank-and-lutely he can.
What if I told you don't have to trade for Richardson? What if I told you they just released him? Would you sign him?
If they release him, somebody else will pick him up and probably pay that. I am not interested in paying him. I think it'd probably be, $7 or $8 million. Maybe that's the number. If that's the case, you could
really.
It's a rookie contract. I don't know. His base salary is not nothing, I don't think. I'll let you look at the financials on it. If it is the same as Justin Fields, yep, I'll take Richardson. I don't know if that will be the case. And I think you're going to have to give some. The Colts aren't going to just let him go when they know Rashawn Gary got a fourth.
Right. I still can't believe that happened. Richardson is in the last year of his contract, his rookie deal. He did not get the fifth-year option. His base salary is the league minimum, $1.145 million.
Okay. Then I would give up a 7.
He has a roster bonus that is due, that is, I believe, guaranteed. So they could just release him and say, this guy couldn't even stay in a game because he was winded.
Somebody will give up a pick. Trey Lance got a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, you're right.
That's who I asked Lil Wayne that question this morning because he was on with us, and obviously a diehard Packers fan. He brought up Trey Lance as a possible backup for the Packers.
What did he say? What did Lil Wayne say?
That's what he said. I just said. He said Trey Lance.
Oh, I thought you asked him. Oh, he likes Trey Lance's. Okay.
They have right now.
You're very feisty this morning.
Well, I said we had Lil Wayne on. He said he would like Trey Lance as a backup, and then you said, what did he say? That's what he said.
The Packers.
Thanks I like double sourcing. What? I can't double source and clarify? All right.
It's the same source.
Forget about journalistic intent. I won't clarify. That's on me. Hey, that's my bad, Evan. That's on me.
Wait a second. Hold on. Two sources would be like, hey, I talked to Wilde and I talked to Domofsky. All right, I got 2 people telling me this. If you say the same thing with the same source twice, is that double sourcing?
I'm not a journalist major, so that's a Jason Wilde question. I don't know. I'm tempted to say it's probably not, but I don't know in today's day what I don't think so. Jason, that's not double sourcing, right?
No. Just for those that are curious, as of right now, the Packers have Desmond Ridder, a former starter in Atlanta, who kind of fits the suit of reclamation project, inexpensive, much like Malik Willis was. The other quarterback that will be vying for the backup job as of now is Kyle McCord, who you may remember from Ohio State and then Syracuse. He was a 6th-round pick by the Eagles last year. He has not seen action in the NFL, but he had a production in college. So those are the two guys right now that are in the running for that. I don't see them adding Anthony Richardson, but I would be interested to see that happen. It'd be intriguing, that's for sure. Evan,
for a seventh? For a seventh at 1.4, count me in.
Yeah. What was he, the third or fourth overall pick?
Do you have a second source on that?
Yeah,
Fourth,
you. And then Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Yes,
Jason,
Lil Wayne's our source.
Jason, I don't think you didn't mean to do this in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not critiquing you, but I want to point something out. Indianapolis ruined him more than he ruined himself. They played him way too early because you said, a guy who couldn't stay in the game. And I know you weren't taking a shot at him. You were just saying like the tap out is what he's known for, injuries, whatever.
Yes.
The concept that they played him right away is so ridiculous for a guy who barely played in college.
Yep.
They ruined him. So if I'm a Packers fan and I can get a guy like that.
It was ridiculous they drafted him fourth. It was ridiculous they drafted him
any which
fourth.
way. But the Packers have done such a great job of having that backup quarterback that this is a Super Bowl or bust type team. So if, God forbid, Jordan Love gets hurt for a game, what they've proven is we can find a guy to still win that same game he's hurt. So that is a more important relevant position than it would be for other teams in this sport.
Yeah. I would add this. First of all, you're 1,000% right. I was not trying to take a shot at him, but that is what he's known for. The reality.
Oh wait, LA's calling. I go to LA. See you guys.
Okay, bye. So the one thing that I liked was that Kevin O'Connell, there's that clip from NFL Films where he pulls Anthony Richardson aside after a Vikings-Colts game and gives him kind of a pep talk.
Seems tampery to me. Tampery.
Yeah, well, again, he was just telling him, just trying to be a supportive guy. That's what KOC is like. But to Evan's point, I do think he was put in a bad spot. At the same time, I'm not sure I agree with Evan's premise. What Malik Willis did was impressive. Look back at the last two times the Packers had to rely on a backup for an extended period. Seneca Wallace wasn't ready. He didn't play well before he got hurt.
Stone Age.
Wait a minute, I'm not done.
Ages.
And then we love Scott Tolzien, but he did not play at a high enough level. And then Matt Flynn came back and bailed him out. In 2017, they had Brett Hundley, who we were told was the best thing since sliced bread, and he wasn't good enough either. So Malik Willis doing what he did, I just don't want to cheapen what he accomplished on such a short turnaround after being acquired. I don't think we can say that the Packers are super good at that. I don't think we have enough evidence to do it. We have evidence that they did a really good job with Malik Willis.
I think you could say Matt LaFleur's did a pretty good job with it.
Sure. But again, it'll be interesting to see who has that role, and it'll be really interesting to see if that player has to play, how he performs, because we got spoiled by what Malik Willis did the last two seasons.
Spoiled. Absolutely. No doubt.
Just like you and I are spoiled by the good people of UW Credit Union as members.
Indeed, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And you ready to give fees the stiff arm? Well, UW Credit Union can help. No monthly fees, overdrafts that never cost more than $5. You'll save members over $12 million per year. And check out that app. That is a fantastic app that UW Credit Union has. Check accounts, make transfers, and more. Very smart play from the pocket. Join today at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Deshaun Kaiser also was not very good, as I'm reminded by
Stone Age. It's back in the Stone Age, though.
I don't think those are Stone Agey.
It's more Stone Agey than you think.
Wasn't Deshaun Kaiser like 8 years ago?
Again, I don't think of that as the Stone Age, but be that
What's
as it
8
may.
times 7, boys? We're NFL
do
is
dog years now.
right?
That's what we're doing. Dog
It is,
years.
yeah. That's 56 years ago in the real world.
That's older than me.
Yeah.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead.
Barely.
Stick around.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Tanas Antetokounmpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. This Marquette Minute is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is the official viewing party location for Marquette road games this season.
Marquette came away with a huge upset win on Senior Day, taking down number 4 UConn at Pfizer Forum on Saturday. Freshman Nigel James Jr. did it all for the Golden Eagles, finishing with 19 points, 7 assists, and 2 rebounds.
James takes on everybody, throws it up toward the basket, it goes in.
Senior Bedengold also came up big with a huge putback dunk down the stretch to seal the game.
James in the lane to the basket, layup no good,
Oh, big
dunk
goal.
follow
Wow.
good, Bengold the dunk follow, remember that.
Marquette will look to carry this momentum into the Big East tournament as they will take on Xavier in the first round on Wednesday.
This Marquette Minute is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is the official viewing party location for Marquette road games this season. Check out the Golden Eagles watch party schedule at gomarquette.com/BWW. It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
The Bucks have now dropped 5 out of their last 6 games after a 130-91 loss to the Orlando Magic on Sunday night. Bobby Portis contributed a double-double off the bench with 18 points and 10 rebounds. Here's what head coach Doc Rivers had to say after the loss.
If you're playing well, you play. If not, and defensively you have to be good as well, then you don't play. I don't think anyone has a rite of passage. You know what I mean? And we told our guys after that Chicago loss, we told them we're going to sit guys, we're going to move guys, and whoever plays right. That doesn't mean they play well, but if you play right, you're going to play.
The Bucks will look to bounce back as they wrap up their 5-game homestand against the Phoenix Suns on Tuesday night.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FAST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FAST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FAST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Thanks again to Evan Cohen for joining us before he had to leave for our L.A. sister station. I do want to get back to the what did we learn from yesterday. Kind of slow going on day 2 here. Haven't seen a lot of tweets from the insiders about signings, and I'm starting to really wonder if Rashid Walker, and Romeo Doubs overestimated their market. Well, I really want to know what's going on there. I'm intrigued.
So the Dobbs one, I think everybody is assuming he's going to be over 20 a year. Hopefully he is. But I think, Kendrick Bourne went from San Francisco to Arizona, I think 12 or 13 a year. I don't know where this is going to be really interesting because we all looked at Dobbs as a solid 2 in Green Bay, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Green Bay was never going to pay him a solid 2 money. I think they would have been content maybe paying him a number 3 money.
Mm-hmm.
And you do wonder what happens if it gets to the point where his number's not big. I still think someone is going to pay him in that upper teens, low 20s, and he'll be good to go and roll. But if not, does Green Bay enter back in, or is it, no, we're moving forward? Those will be interesting little things. I would bet Dobbs will sign somewhere. I don't know if it'll be during our show, but sometime here in the next day and a half. Or I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, I don't know what's in his mind or what his agent is thinking for his market. I had seen, some projections in that 13, 14, 15 million a year range. Again, I don't necessarily think it would be fair, but I still and he answered the bell last season, right? Mm-hmm. But he's never he's never had a 1,000-yard season. He's a good third down guy, good red zone guy. I don't know if there are teams that look at the incident from the 2024 season and have a little bring your own bewaredness about him or not. I would like to think that, like Ted Lasso says, I would hope all of us or none of us are judged on our worst moments. That was obviously not good for him, but I would hope that's not held against him. But I thought he would have a deal yesterday, and I thought Rasheed Walker would have a deal yesterday, and neither one of them has found a home.
Wait a second. If you're a general manager, you'd be negligent if you're not holding that against him.
Right. I would agree. I'm not a general manager.
And the same thing that we talked about Jalen Carter, these same things are in play for Green Bay's guys. Romeo Doubs, good young receiver, your most productive receiver.
Why are you letting him leave?
Is he out the door?
Yep, you're right. Yeah. You're right. Great point. It's probably why he didn't get a first-day deal. Right there, to your point. All right, we'll get into what we learned about the Packers from yesterday's moves. Again, we can add St-Juste to the list and the moving on from Nate Hobbs today. We'll talk about that during the 10 o'clock hour, which will begin after I tell you about Walan Legal Group, which specializes in estate planning, which I'm really excited about this partnership because it's a very important shove into the responsibility that I have shirked to this point. They do wills, trusts, probate, elder care, and special needs planning. They offer a customized, personalized experience. Not that cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all solution stuff. Estate planning is, and I know this firsthand, uncomfortable, but it's also a necessity. And Walney makes it smooth, easy, and painless as possible. They take care of you from start to finish. Their motto, lawyering the way it should be. Clear communication, niche expertise, personal service, and a modern approach. Visit WalneyLegal.com. That's WALNY legal.com to start a conversation no matter what phase you're in. The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
1896, Horicon Bank first opened its doors. Wisconsin wasn't even 50 years old.
We've maintained our roots over the years and yet expanded.
We empower our people to invest in the community. We give them 40 hours of volunteer time.
We're doing it with a personal touch, with a desire to say yes to our customers.
You shouldn't have to work with a bank that sends their profits to New York City or Toronto. You can keep your money here and it benefits Wisconsin.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. We are the home of green and gold off-season coverage. 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And we want to get to your... Maybe you don't have 3. I struggle to get to 3 per Tausch's request. But what are the 3 things, or 2, or maybe just the biggest thing you learned from day 1 of the free agent negotiating window? I'm with Adam Schefter. Tampering is not legal, so let's not say it's a legal tampering period. It's something else. But what are the takeaways? What lessons did you learn about the Packers from that? As I mentioned mine, Goody, he's sticking with the 1.5 now, not 1.6 retention rate from your draft class. Mm-hmm. As of now, they're on they hit the more if we were doing prize picks for the 2022 class. Christian Watson doesn't count. That's a 1-year deal, but I do believe he will get an extension from this team this year. I had a good conversation. We mentioned it yesterday, but I had a conversation today with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy about I would have some apprehension if they gave him the kind of money that the Colts gave Alec Pierce. They're similar style players, big play, down the field type guys. On top of that, they have Devontae Wyatt under contract for this year on the 5th-year option. But right now, as of today, with Rasheed Walker and Romeo Doubs still yet to find a new home, the Packers have extended 2 players on multi-year deals from their 2022 class, Sean Ryan and Zach Tom. Will they have a third a year from now or sometime during the season with Christian Watson? Will they do an extension with Devontae Wyatt? Not if they trade for Jalen Carter. I don't think they will, but maybe. It'll be interesting to see. Tausch, remind us again, offensive line was the centerpiece of your biggest lesson, correct?
Yeah, the biggest lesson that I've learned is, so far watching how Green Bay has handled free agency is that they have a lot of trust in their former first-round picks. They are trusting 2 players that have had some playing time, but not to the point where you feel like they're proven. And they are rolling the dice that Jordan Morgan can protect their $55 million a year quarterback's blind side. Mm-hmm. And they're also believing that Lucas Van Ness is going to elevate and be the man, the guy, especially early in the season if we don't know where Mike is at. He is their number 1 rush guy until Micah gets back.
It's true.
That's what I've learned. So Goody is in complete trust of his former first-round picks, and there are a lot of skeptics out there that don't think that's a wise move. We shall see, but Brian Gutekunst, as we sit here today at 10:19 on the 10th of March, that is what he believes, and that's subject to change. But what I've learned through these first, hours of the whatever you want to call it, that's the top thing that I've learned.
We will get yours coming up, but we've got our Iron Jock contest here, so I'm not going to ask for calls just yet. But I did want to touch on one thing, and I'm not familiar with this guy's work. He says that he is an NFL draft analyst. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Dave Steger. Stig and Cheese is his Twitter handle. I said that I was a little surprised that they let Kingsley Enagbare out the gate. He got a 1-year, $10 million deal from the New York Jets. You and I talked about it. He was the guy. He made critical plays down the stretch last season, and he also took snaps away from an already not a high snap count guy in Rashawn Gary. I didn't think that this was a controversial take, but apparently Dave disagrees. Parsons, LVN, Sorrell, Oliver, and Cox. Wilde is wrong again about them being thin on the edge. Who knew? All right, I'm wrong on occasion, for sure, no doubt about it. I don't think I'm wrong about this. Your depth is, just to be clear, Micah Parsons, who is a great player but is coming off an ACL tear and will not be ready for the opener. LVN, who has not shown that he is a consistently good player, who played with a broken thumb for almost all of 2024 and missed, 6 games with a foot injury last year?
He missed a bunch, yep.
Baron Sorrell, who had some flash moments, but he's not
played great in that Viking game up in the Metro.
99 did shine.
He did indeed. But again, a very small sample size as a rookie.
I like him. I like him.
I like him too.
I think he's got good wiggle.
Yes.
I think he can be a player.
I like him too. Colin Oliver, who didn't play until that Vikings JV game all season, didn't play. And Brenton Cox, who missed most of the season last year with a groin injury. You're telling me that that's not thin on the edge, Dave? Really?
Well, if they all pan out and be the players that you hope, but you don't project. You project, but when you have championship on your mind, you need some reinforcements, and I believe that the lines of scrimmage and the defensive backfield is where you're going to see most of the Packers draft capital go. I think there's still, just because this legal tampering period is where all of the big money guys get their cash, doesn't mean there's other role players that can fit and come in. If it's some of these, now that we have opened the door on bringing some old guys in, at least one with Franklin, maybe there is an older guy. Maybe Trey Hendrickson's market doesn't develop the way he thinks. I don't think he's going to be a viable option for Green Bay, but maybe. Mm-hmm. You do want to have, especially understanding, you can't punt or hope and wait for Micah to get back. Like, by all accounts, he's crushing his rehab like we all knew he would. Uh-huh. I wouldn't be shocked if he is going to push hard to start the season, not on PUP, and miss. Who knows? I'm not going to discount the fact that he could be back to play some limited reps by the opener. I would say it's not likely, but I'm not going to say it can't happen. But you're going to have a little bit of a period where you want to build him up. You don't want him going out because he is not a low snap count guy. He is a high snap count guy. You can't just punt and think, all right, I need Baron Sorrell to be my number one, and he's going to play 70 or 80% of the snaps. That ain't going to work either. So, yes, I don't mind him pushing on you a little bit on that, but when you are a team that has championship aspirations, I think that is another big dice roll. There's always dice rolls in the NFL. You can't punt on everything. You have to go. You can't sit there with naming that tune and just not ever go down and name a tune. You have to go and make a push and play the game. These guys will, but I would argue you need to at least bring one player in that you know is going to be a bona fide guy that can hold up while Mike is recovering from his ACL.
That seemed like completely unnecessary. The name that tune, Rip. Totally uncalled for.
I was trying to bring it back. I was trying to bring it back to something relatable.
Let's give away some Iron Jock gear, and in this instance, you do have to play by actually calling. Otherwise, you won't win. As opposed to name that tune, which I did win.
That's how it works, and I guess you can sit back and hope that nobody calls, and then you just get it. But an Iron Jock hoodie, which is awesome. Woo! It's a perfect time of the year for a hoodie from Iron Jock. It's a great deal. Caller Hunter, I'm going to let you pick when I get to it. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock, their performance apparel, built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh. No matter how hard you work, from the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Now, you know what? Listeners can get 40% off all Iron Jock T-shirts and polos. Golf courses are open. You need those polos. Code SPRING40 to get 40% off. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com. And your chance to win that awesome Iron Jock hoodie, caller number...
I'm going to go with caller number 70 for the number of games that Benjamin St-Juste has played in his career.
Ooh. Caller 70 to win an Iron Jock logoed up hoodie. It is beautiful. Get on the horn now. 844-770-3776.
844-770-3776. Caller 70 wins this hoodie, which Tausch and I both have one, and they are really, really nice. Caller 70 wins. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall. Home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination, 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
This is Coach Greg Gard. Strong teams succeed with the right partners. Bank CMG works closely with Wisconsin business owners, offering local insight, modern tools, and honest guidance you can trust. They take the time to understand your goals and help you build something sustainable. Whether you're managing cash flow, planning for growth, or navigating change, having the right banking partner matters. When your business matters, your bank should too. BankCMG.com.
Grab
grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Wisconsin, let's keep this simple. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, thanks for hanging in there. If you believe a beer tastes even better after shoveling the driveway, mowing the lawn, or putting in an honest day's work, well, you're our kind of people. Wisconsin, it's finally here. Yuengling, oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations, and now officially in Wisconsin. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Congrats to Dave in Verona, who wins the Sweet Iron Jock hoodie. Love our partnership with them. Excited to have them on board, and they've been giving away some awesome stuff. So be sure to tune in all week long for your chances to win some Iron Jock gear. Tausch, what was your third lesson that you learned since you shared your first 2, so we can maybe get some calls and texts on the Carbless Talk and text line on this?
Yeah, to me, it's that the secondary needs to be reworked, and I think we haven't seen all of that yet. But obviously, the Hobbs move definitely worked. You rip out. We need something new, need something fresh, and I think when you're looking at, I still am curious what we're doing defensively, and we have not heard from Jonathan Gannon how that looks, but obviously. But what we saw last year was not good enough, and that part of it, along with some other things, defensive line-wise and things like that, that would be my third thing. But again, man, I think I'm just going to keep it to 2 and focus on what I've really learned, because this is one move that does show you where Goody's head's at. But I think there's more moves to come at that position, and I think you're going to see more competition brought in. To push guys into seeing who can elevate their game to make that a better unit.
Yeah, I thought one of my lessons, too, was similar to that, and that is they are going to remake their defense at some level with whatever Jonathan Gannon wants to do. We just don't know what the heck it is because we haven't talked to him yet. But when you see kind of where they're headed, they do have good players on defense, right? I think they have 1 to 2 really good players at each level. They've got Micah Parsons up front. I think Edgerrin Cooper will have a bounce-back year. I don't think he had a bad year last year, but he did not have an impactful year last year. And it'll be interesting to see how Jonathan Gannon deploys him versus what Jeff Hafley did while he had Quay Walker also at linebacker. I don't know what to expect from Zaire Franklin. He was really good in 2024, but Eddie Lacy and Mark Tauscher will tell you that the league comes at you fast, so I don't know what to expect. And then I think they got two damn good safeties and a really good nickel guy in the back end. I think Javon Bullard is going to be a really good player, and I think their two safeties, I would put them up probably against anyone in the league. But I don't know what the heck they're doing at corner. I have not broken down the film of Benjamin St-Juste. I don't know what... I still have this sneaking suspicion that there's some controversy or contractual issue looming with Keyshawn Nixon. And I want to like Carrington Valentine, but they, at least in the previous defense, they really relied on their corners to be physical, and his tackling was not what it needed to be. So, and they're not deep. They're still not deep. They basically swapped out St-Juste for Nate Hobbs now. So they still have a need there, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft. So there's a lot of work to be done still, and there's been a lot of departures. I want to see how they fill those voids. All right, Hunter, save that text. We'll get to it at the start of the next segment because we want to get your thoughts based on what you have seen through the first 24-ish hours. We're just shy of 24 hours of the negotiating window being open. What have you learned about the Packers? What's your biggest takeaway? 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. I'm also curious, do you feel better, worse, or meh? Right now, I'm not really sure after this because there have been a lot of departures, but I don't think there's anyone who's left where you're like, oh, my God, what are we going to do without him? I don't think there's been that either. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. This is more. We'll get to your feedback after I tell you about Associated Bank. I just heard our new commercial for Associated Bank and their Brewers checking. Even more perks than you got before with your Brewers checking, as I wear my old school Brewers hat that some have mistook for a Michigan hat. Lots of great perks, and of course, great perks that come with having the best customer service in the industry. Early pay, credit monitoring, fraud protection, everything you need to feel comfortable and confident in your bank. So if you haven't made the switch yet, do it now. AssociatedBank.com. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walan Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walan Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at WalneyLegal.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
I don't know what this means for the Chiefs. They can go back and Brett Veach can turn some magic in the draft again, which he's want to do. He's done before. But the Chiefs might be in that area of flux with their quarterback, world quarterback coming back from a knee injury. Travis Kelce, we're still waiting on a decision from him. The other longer in the tooth guys on defense, how much do they have left? What are they going to do on offense to get maybe more firepower? But losing Trent McDuffie, they also they're going to release Jawan Taylor. They made that news the other day. Interestingly enough, they released him one step early, which is on brand. Mahomes is he's posted damn. This gives voice to what's up. But in Brett, you got to trust. In Andy Reid, you got to trust. In Mahomes' rehab, you got to trust. And I think the Chiefs will be back at it sooner rather than later because I always believe in them.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mistings. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at Lowe's.com/same-day delivery.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay. Oh, really? Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in an ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
Let's celebrate Milwaukee. Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sale is on. This month, we're celebrating with anniversary savings on over 1,400 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Payments as low as $250 a month. Financing as low as 0%. Plus, 2 years of included maintenance on us. The Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sales event. This month only at every Ewald location. Go to EwaldAuto.com.
Select models with approved credit. See dealer for details. Expires month end.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Four 770-3776. That is the carbless talk and text line. What did you learn from the first day of free agency as a Packers fan about your favorite team? 844-770-3776. That is the carbless talk and text line. Less is more. Let's go right to the phones. Let's go to John in Milwaukee. John, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Good. So to me, it's pretty obvious that we were learned, right? Goody wants his draft picks to play. He thinks that he's got JJ's replacement in Sorrell. He thinks they're the same guy. Sorrell's got more upside. He thinks he's got Walker's replacement in Morgan. He said it. If you listen to his press conference at the end of the year, what did he say? I think he earned that spot, but because of the injuries, we had to move him around. He thinks that he don't want to see Romeo Dobbs drop onside kicks anymore. He wants Golden to play. He wants his first-round pick to play. You can't play 4 receivers, right? So he wants his 3 best. And he thinks his 3 best are Golden, Watson, and Reed. And then Wicks and Williams will get in his offensive line. He thinks he's got his 5 plus Kennard. Now he needs 1 more. Because if you get to your 8th offensive lineman, you're in trouble anyway, right? No one's got 8 good offensive linemen. So he better be right. His picks better be right. But he wants to see his picks play. That's what he wants. So he doesn't care that JJ's gone because he wants to see Sorrell play. Mm-hmm. And he thinks he's getting his injured players back, and they're going to, be better because of that. Again, now he's got to be right. He's got to make sure his picks are
John,
that they're going to pan out the way he thinks. Yeah.
Quick question for you. Do you, because we used to, in Ted we trust, do you buy the moniker in Goody we trust?
I'm a huge fan of his. That's all he does is win. And we are always having this debate because everyone wants to be their own GM, right? But he's gotten 6 out of 8 really right in free agency, right? The Smith brothers, A's, Billy Turner a B, Amos a B, McKinney an A, Jacobs an A. He whiffed on Hobbs and he got rid of him, corrected his mistake, right? That's the Ron Wolf school, right? You make a mistake, you get rid of him. That's the tree he grew up in. Yeah, he whiffed on him, but you don't get him all right. No GM does. And the verdict is out on Banks. So, yeah, I trust Goody. I think, yeah, he misses on draft picks, but everybody does. And you can't sign everybody. And in his mind, Dobbs is a backup. I'm not giving him $12 million a year. And everyone's, Colby Wooden, we have nobody there. But Colby Wooden had a half a sack in 3 years. He is not like, in Goody's mind, he's like, yeah, I'll just play Stackhouse instead of Colby Wooden. I don't care.
And Warren
Colby
Brinson.
Wooden, what's he done? And Brinson. And I know we need help there. Everybody knows that. But he doesn't think he lost anything. And he thinks this guy, this Franklin guy that replaced Quay, again, he's got to be right, but he thinks they're the same guy. A bunch of guys that make tackles downfield, that make no impact plays, that can't cover anybody. I mean, Quay couldn't cover anybody. He's really athletic, but he doesn't have instincts like Cooper has. So, he doesn't think that he's lost anybody that matters. That's just the way I see it. I really believe that and one thing we know about Goody, and I think there is a disconnect between him and the coaching staff on that, he wants his players to play, his draft picks. He wants them to play. And when they don't, he'll take Preston Smith and ship them out. And he says almost every press conference, you have to listen to what he says. He says it. Yeah, I think those guys should have got more ops. I'd have liked to see them get more opportunities. And every time he says it, he's saying it about a draft pick.
So let me ask you this, John. First of all, this has been a great call. Okay, this is phenomenal. I'm so glad you called. I hope we get more calls like yours. Can I push back on you on one thing? Because, again, I believe Goody is a good to very good GM. I don't think he's as great as some people think, okay?
Yep.
All he does is win, is accurate in terms of they have been a winning team all but 1 year of all but 2 years, I guess, because 18 they weren't either. 18 and 22 during the Rodgers, McCarthy, and then Rodgers, LaFleur last year together. Is this philosophy good enough to win a title, though? Because I think he is very much laid out, because you're right about wanting his draft picks to play.
Well, Jason, what is his philosophy, though?
So his
not draft and develop.
Yeah, so he likes to say it's draft and develop, but it's really draft and replace. With a few exceptions, 1.5 per draft class, right? Because, and look, I don't think that this is a flawed approach. The question I have is, it gets you wins, does it get you titles? And I'm not killing him. I'm not. I know I get criticized for being that I hate Goody, and I don't. I really, truly don't. Didn't like it when he lied to me, but that's a different story. But he said this in 2023, and when he said it, my ears perked up, and ever since then, because look, during his tenure, he had Aaron Rodgers, and he had a GM a certain way, because he had an aging Hall of Fame quarterback. Now he's doing it his way. And what he said in 2023 is you play your young guys, they go through the growing pains, and then during the course of that season, they get beyond that, and they're fully formed or close to fully formed NFL players, and they play at a higher level. And that was undeniably true in 2023. All those guys played a ton as rookies and second-year guys. And what did they do by the end of the season? They won a playoff game in Dallas and had the 49ers on the ropes with their first-year starting quarterback and a bunch of young dudes. The last 2 years, they've lost in the first round of the playoffs. So my question to you, since you said all he does is win, is do you believe that this philosophy can get you a title, or is it always going to have you competing and in the mix, but unless you get some other pieces, it might not be quite enough?
I think that is a concern, and I would say that everything needs to go their way because they always win, so they're never drafting really high. They're always against the cap because they always have a great quarterback, which takes away a significant portion of their money they can spend. So he needs, I think this year, I don't think Seattle was special. I think if the Packers are healthy, we can beat Seattle. I think I've told people, and they're like, oh, you're just making excuses because I'm a self-admitted homer. But when you play without Edgerrin Cooper, and you play without Devontae Wyatt, Micah Parsons, Zach Tom, and Tucker Kraft, you're beating nobody. The Bears should have beat them by 3 touchdowns. And Mark's brought up, they melted down. You got to win that game. I agree. But they ran out of juice. There's nobody. Those are your 5 best football players. Now, maybe you can drop McKinney in there if you want. But the point is, right, that's their 5 best. They have a better chance of winning that game, 100%. If those 5 guys are playing and Malik Willis is playing, they beat the Bears by 2 touchdowns. So they need a little luck, too. You can't get decimated with injuries. And I know it's an excuse. And guys like Mark, they play it and they're right. It's the next man up. But it isn't the next man up. It can't. It's not. You can't. If let's put it this way. Let's say that these 5 guys got hurt instead. Musgrave, Isaiah McDuffie, Colby Wooden. Nobody would care. It would be irrelevant, right?
Matters.
Nobody would care.
Yep. And Edgerrin Cooper
gets hurt.
By the way, I'm glad you brought up Edgerrin Cooper because that's the drum I kept beating. He was having the best game of his season, the most impactful game of his season, and then he gets hurt in the third quarter. They give up 25 fourth quarter points. Those are related.
And nobody could cover Loveland, and that was all because of Cooper. And I get it. I get the next guy's got to step up. But again, if we're talking about the guys I just mentioned that are hurt, nobody cares if Musgrave's hurt and McDuffie's hurt. The drop-off's not very big. You can't be good at every position and then have good backups at every position. No team does. So to answer your question, I think to get over the hump, they got to stay healthy 1 year where they're healthy. And then was Seattle special? We certainly know New England wasn't special. I don't think Seattle was special. I mean, they were good. They won the Super Bowl, but this was the year that there was no team like the Eagles where they were just the best team. And if they didn't win, you'd be surprised, right? That wasn't Seattle. The Packers are in the hunt, but Seattle lost for 3 out of 4 years. They didn't make the playoffs. That helps you get better. The Packers are always so good that sometimes it's a detriment almost because they don't get the high picks. They don't have cap space. And you always have to do that when you have 12, right? You can't take a year off or 2 years off and try to rebuild. And now we got Love. We're paying him $55 million a year, and he's getting better every year. And people are all over him. Caleb Williams is better. He threw for 4 touchdowns and 350 yards, right? Some crazy number. I mean, that wasn't a Love thing. I know we went 3 and out, but again, if you look at how injured they were, we couldn't run the ball in the red zone. Well, that's because we didn't have Tucker Kraft. He opens up the whole red zone. So Josh Jacobs had nowhere to go. Again, I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for them, but I think the injuries they had this year were – you can't overcome those 5 guys in a playoff game.
You and I
That's
must
just my
both be.
opinion.
We must both be homers because that's been my argument.
John,
as well.
thanks for the call. Listen, man, I am not arguing. Had we went into Seattle and lost and got beat, 31-20, I'm not going to argue with you on that. But you said we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. Yeah, we could. We did it. The first half was proof in the pudding. And that's why I have such pushback. And, yeah, you could bring up Edgerrin Cooper getting hurt. Yep, that's fair. He didn't play offense. That Bears defense wasn't very good.
No, you're right.
It wasn't very good. So all of the things that we're talking about, I am not saying that we should have won a championship this year because those injuries are devastating. No question. But to lose to the Bears the way we did, that's more about the makeup than it was about the injuries to me. We couldn't run the football. That's why we need to improve that. We're kind of running it back. You tell me if that's going to be better. We'll find out. Guys can develop. Belton's going to get a lot better. Maybe at left tackle. Maybe we'll be better running, as a run blocking unit. I don't know. We'll find out. But the complaints or the reasoning or the excuses of, well, they're injured. No question. And at some point, you run out of gas like we did against Atlanta back in '16 when we got Gooch playing right guard and, Ladarius Gunter guarding
Julio Jones. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. I didn't get up here and say we were a better team. We should have won it. I was like, yeah, we got smoked. We deserved it. That's how it plays.
That's true.
That Bears game this year, what happened in the first half, it should not have been that big of a swing.
You're right.
That wasn't because we didn't have Tucker or Micah. Obviously, that would have helped. Maybe we would have been ahead by 35 instead of 18. I don't know. But you can't equate the two, in my opinion. That part I would push back on John.
Yeah. And look, if they're playing Seattle in Seattle and they have those guys, I'm still not sure that they win there. All those guys he talked about, I don't know. That's why you were right about the most important number one seed. Like, Packers didn't take advantage of it when they had it back in 21, but you're telling me that the Seahawks didn't hugely benefit from that? In fact, playing one fewer game and then winning 2 at home?
Let me be blunt, and I've said this. If they lost that Thursday night game like they should have, the Rams beat them, we would be talking about the Rams as the world champions. There is not a doubt in my mind, and I bet if you ask John Schneider, and he might BS you, but you go grab a couple cold ones with him after, he'd say, yeah, that road would have been too tough.
Yep. You're right. All right, we'll get to more of your calls and texts on the Carbless Talk and Text line. What did you learn from day one of the free agent negotiating window? I've learned, and we've got a planned trip down there coming up soon. I've learned that our trips to Hard Rock Casino Rockford are always fun for us.
It's a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois, and I know Jesse has made that trip down there. This is the best time of the year to go down to that great sports book that the Hard Rock Casino Rockford has. Offers the most generous and most frequent promotions of any casino in the Midwest. And you know what? If you, let's say your wife or you love slots more, you know what? Head down there this Friday, part of the $40,000 Gold Rush progressive drawing on Fridays in March. Starting at 11 a.m. on Fridays, one lucky guest will be selected to win free slot play. Winners will have 3 minutes to claim their prize. Drawings will continue until a winner is validated for that final drawing. Play, dine, shop, enjoy live shows and the sportsbook. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
You bid, they benefit. It's that simple. WTMJ's Kristen Bry here to tell you that WTMJ is hosting a silent auction for the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. And the auction is live now. Bid now at WTMJcares.com. Bid on game-worn Giannis gear, a signed bat from Brewers slugger Andrew Vaughn, and a golf foursome at Morningstar Golf Club. You score something amazing, local families get the diapers they desperately need. Auction closes Friday. Bid now at WTMJcares.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's just it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Amy Simonson is the IT administrator with Professional Services Group. They had business technology from a not-so-supportive vendor. Not anymore. They switched to James Imaging Systems.
They come in as a partner. They want to help you. They want to make your business successful.
Including your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
He's always there when I need him. It's always like, what can I do to help you?
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner with great people and more value.
The value is we have the right equipment in the right place. We're getting reliable, consistent service when we need it.
Amy, your advice for other Wisconsin businesses?
I would definitely say contact James Imaging. They are very helpful and knowledgeable and will put you in the right place.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700, 262-781-7700, or visit jamesimaging.com.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. And Wisconsin beer fans, the wait is over. Yuengling is finally here. That's right, America's oldest brewery has officially arrived in Wisconsin for the very first time. Get your Yuengling in bottles, cans, and half barrels. This month, we'll be running special promotions with all Yuengling purchases. Stop in and see why fans across the country have loved Yuengling for generations. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, that wait is over. Now is the time. At Discount Liquor, we stock over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, spirits, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town. From unique craft brews to hard-to-find whiskeys and unforgettable wines, we're your one-stop shop for every occasion. Visit us in Milwaukee at 51st in Oklahoma or downtown Waukesha at Barstow in Maine. Discount Liquor, where selection meets savings. Stop in and grab some Yuengling.
Discount Liquor. Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We'll get to the 11 o'clock hour coming up. Let's get to at least one text before we get there, though. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day for Jesse. Cousin subs, we believe in better. This is from Steve-O in SoCal. Steve-O! In Goody we trust? Please! You've got to be kidding me! This is my interpretation of his texting.
No, I think you're reading his tone pretty well.
Thanks.
I would agree with your tone reading.
This Packers roster is mediocre at best, and Goody is to blame! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Another second place finish in the NFC North.
4 years
Tausch,
in a row. We have an Olympiad of not winning the division, so
it's like that old.
Year.
It's like that read from Pella from the previous month? 4 years, you can get a college degree. You can send your baby off to kindergarten. It has been a while since the Pack has won the North.
Well, I think Steve-O in SoCal and John and everybody else, it was right in front of us. I had not thought of it because I am not the Goody stan I once was, but I still am a Goody stan.
Mm-hmm.
Do Packer fans trust Goody? Because there is a lot of trust being asked here. This roster wasn't deep enough last year. I think when fully loaded, we all thought this was a championship caliber team. I'm not going to go down that road again, Lord knows. But do we believe and trust? Because Ted, we knew. Ted had a philosophy, and we knew what it was. draft guys. They weren't getting cut. They were going to get time to develop. And if you were good, you were going to get a second contract. That is what Ted did. And I know somebody on Twitter yesterday is getting after us for citing a Packer Twitter feed, the list. And listen, man, I'm not going to vet every blanking list. If I think a list is interesting, I'm going to read it.
Sure.
I thought it was interesting because it gave us a really good reminder of how good of a GM Ted Thompson was. Not at the end, but in his heyday, man, he cooked. Ted Thompson cooked, and that's why we were in the mix for multiple championships. We only got one, but we gave a couple away. Brian Gutekunst, you said this, and I thought it was interesting. Draft and replace. Is that a philosophy?
That's my interpretation of his philosophy.
What do you think his philosophy is?
No, I think that's what I think it is. And then and special guys that really are truly special, then you extend them and continue to develop them.
And then if you don't, you just keep going young and you hope you trust your talent evaluation.
It puts a lot of pressure on you as an evaluator, though, boy.
Oh boy, you're right, old boy.
You can't. You can't. Sorry, you can't say like John did in his call. Well, every GM misses picks. He's right. They do. But if you are draft and develop / draft and replace, you have put yourself in a position where your margin for error is smaller. And then, as we've talked about many times, then you do have to utilize free agency to make up for the misses you've had, which we've been through those again and again and again.
That was the biggest problem fans had with Ted.
Yep.
Is that he didn't even utilize or look at that avenue. Very rarely. When he did, he was big time.
He nailed it.
But it was very few and far between. And I think this is a shift. And the in Goody we trust, I do trust Goody. I don't know how many of our fans do. I think we should poll it because this is the time of the year where you find out, all right, this is what Goody's doing. You won't know until you know. And right now, we have been the 7th seed. We have been just good enough to get into the playoffs, and we have not been good enough to win playoff games the last 2 seasons. That's 14 years in real-world terms. Mm-hmm. That's a long time for the Green Bay Packers. So he went and made the big splash. I loved it. It's a great move. The Micah Parsons move needs to result in a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was not a good move. And Micah has been everything we'd hoped. And I hope that he gets back and is healthy and is doing the same thing. But right now, Goody is putting a lot on his young guys that he drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Said that as my number one takeaway. That is what he's doing. Whether or not that's the right move, we won't know probably until October or November.
All right. I think we've got trivia still. We've got Woe Hunter. I want to ask, this is a great question to ask now. I know we've asked it in the past, but with where we're at the moment, because there could be some big things coming, right? Our guy Reek Woolen with ... I don't know what that means. I hate, and I know hate's a strong word, but I hate cryptic social media posts. I don't like them at all. They can be fun, but I don't enjoy them. But I think I'm glad you asked this, but I would like to even carry it over to tomorrow. But let's get a poll in the field. We can do that. But in the vein of hashtag in Ted we trust, which I know there were some who didn't. Are you in the hashtag in Goody we trust crowd?
What do you think? What do you think?
I think more people do than don't belong in that group, in the Packers fan base. But I don't think it is as fervent or as large of a margin as it once was. I think there's been some reduction there, but I still think, look, again, he gets credit for drafting Jordan Love. He did a very bold thing before the start of the season. I don't think we should be taking that away from him. I think his draft picks there have been good draft picks. No one's saying he misses on all of them. And he's been really good with free agency, making up for the misses that he had, the high-profile misses in drafts. I think he is a good to very good GM. I don't think he's a great GM. And I think we're starting to see, maybe if you thought that once upon a time, you're taking a small step back on that opinion. We'll get that poll in the field. We'll continue the conversation after Tausch tells us about American Family Insurance.
Oh, American Family Insurance, been a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection. Also, you are free to enjoy your dreams, so insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Elevate your home field advantage by designing it around the way you actually live. Mike Wood here from Callan. What if your home perfectly fit your lifestyle? For 40 years, Callan has helped homeowners like you transform your living spaces from energy-efficient windows and doors to beautiful kitchens and spa-worthy bathrooms, featuring superior quality and craftsmanship you can see and feel for years to come. We start by listening and end with a home you truly love. Request your consultation today at callcallan.com and click the green button. Callan. Design, build, live.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit BigFishContracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock out of Wilde and Tausch begins now. We'll get that poll in the field, although it appears that I don't remember the password for the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed, so hopefully Jesse's listening or Hunter has access to that. I went to put the poll up and I was unable to. So
I could take a look and see if I have access.
We'll work on that. Oops. Otherwise, we've got a lead topic for tomorrow. But Big Cat, Josh DiMaggio, down in the ESPN Milwaukee Grubel offices, One Call That's All Studios, posed a really interesting question in our little private group chat. Because how does your view of Goody change, and how does this conversation change if he's got something big cooking? Because look, I don't necessarily subscribe to the theory that they traded Rashawn Gary and released Elgton Jenkins, ergo they have a big move coming because that cleared $30 million in cap space. I believe they needed to move on from those guys regardless, and I don't think they moved on from them purely to clear cap space to go trade for Reek Woolen or to trade for Jalen Carter or whatever dream scenario you have cooked up in your Packers fan brain. I would also add, and I think Big Cat would agree with this, trading for Micah Parsons felt like a pipe dream move too, and it happened. So we have to at least allow for that possibility. At the same time, as you well know, there is one player for sure that they want to sign to an extension who is now extension eligible. And his name is Tucker Kraft.
That is correct.
Is Jaden Reed going to be in that group? Is Christian Watson going to be in that group? Are there other players that merit that? Certainly there's conversations to be had. But just because they've cleared cap space doesn't mean they need to use it on some outside acquisition that is going to be expensive and going to need a new contract.
But quick question, because with Hobbs, Green Bay usually pays as they go.
Hey, you're
Why make that a June
That's a
1?
great point. Mm-hmm. Great point.
Because
the fact that they made him June.
That tells
now,
me.
Important, though, by putting it as post-June 1, you don't get access to that until after June 1. You don't get the cap money now. So I don't know what that means. Maybe that's we can spend some money now, and then we're going to get a little bit more cap relief on June 1st so we can extend one of those players I just mentioned.
Well, what I initially thought when I heard that is, well, maybe there is something big cooking.
Yeah.
Because you want that money now. That's typically what the G&G do. So they want to just, let's take our medicine. Remember, Aaron Rodgers, $40 million in dead cap. It's a good day.
Good day.
Remember
Good
that
day.
quote? It's a good day. This is atypical for what Green Bay does. And when you do something atypical, you start thinking. You windy it a little bit and say, why? I don't know. Maybe there's something big brewing. I hope there is. We like big moves, and we cannot lie here on Wilde and Tausch.
Indeed, we do.
Thanks. I was a little late, Hunter, but not. But
well, I don't think he was prepared for me to laugh as heartily as I did.
It was also I was trying to use the space, let it sit a little bit, let it simmer.
Let people kind of bask in what a good line that was. Sure. Yeah.
Well, well done, Hunter.
So Tausch, so we can make this a more extensive topic tomorrow. Let me just ask you this follow-up question. You acknowledge that you're not as big of a Goody stan as you once were. And you and I would go round and round on occasion about that. Why has your Goody standum, it hasn't evaporated, but it has cooled a little bit? What is the reason for that?
Offensive line. I think, we've seen the big moves that we love here. The Micah Parsons, there's been big moves that have been done. But I really feel like we got a little bit out over our skis and did some things emotionally last year. The Philadelphia game was bad. Elgton gets hurt. This is 2 playoffs ago. And it just felt like we kind of went away from how we do business because we got bully balled.
Mm-hmm.
And the O-line was not terrible that year. The O-line was much better 2 years ago than it was last year. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, but it was more consistent. And we went and did wholesale changes, which, by the way, no problem doing it. If that's the way you feel, I just felt like we were way too reactive. It's not how we do things in Green Bay typically. And when you do that, you did all that shuffling, and you didn't have the continuity that you hope for and that you need in an O-line. And we saw that play itself out. So we really have been looking now. The group has not been as good as I think we had hoped. And Goody, to his credit, utilizes resources and knows how important that position is. But he hadn't gotten it right. And I can't sit here in good faith and say, Goody's done it right, man. Goody's the king. Oh, I think Goody's done a really good job. You guys always make fun of me for saying he flipped that roster from that dark day when Mike McCarthy got and we're in an NFC Championship game a year and some change later. He deserves a lot of credit for that. He deserves a ton of credit for Jordan Love. He deserves a lot of credit for jumping into the free agency pool when we need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the last year and a half or 2 years, the way things have shaken out, it has not worked. And from my perspective, I can still think you're a very good GM, but a little of the luster has kind of shown off. Because that has been such a key part to why I think we haven't reached the goals that the Green Bay Packers as an organization have.
We will discuss this further tomorrow because I really like this topic and I want to delve into it more deeply. But I do think it's interesting that you are kind of where you are on this. And we will see what happens on that offensive line because we have a pretty good idea who the starting five now are. And Jordan Morgan better be good. And in fairness to Jordan Morgan, he's been jerked around for 2 years. He walked in the first day of the rookie camp and said, I want to play left tackle. It's the only position I've ever played. All of high school, all of college. Well, now you got what you wanted, right? I mean, unless somehow Rasheed Walker comes back. But I doubt that. You got what you wanted. So what are you going to do with it? Anthony Belton is a premium draft pick. Second-round picks are premium picks. The next 2 years, the Packers' first picks will be in the second round. They need him. He played well for a rookie. Do we agree? He needs to now play well for an NFL player. They need Zach Tom to stay healthy. They need Sean Ryan to be a legit center and not be you know what? For a guy that got thrown into the deep end of the pool at center, he did okay. He's got to be better than that, and the contract would imply that. And then they need Aaron Banks to be worth the $43 million they will have paid him in like a 14-month window here. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be a tough year, including for the quarterback. Hunter, let's play some trivia. Did you get to do the trivia questions? Are you still shadow banned? Where do we stand on trivia right now?
I didn't get to do the trivia questions. And at this point, I've kind of become okay with it. Like, Jesse doesn't trust me with trivia. That's fine. I'll let him not trust me. I think I've had the most entertaining Wilde and Tausch trivia. So if he doesn't want an entertaining show, that's on him. I'm not bitter about it at all.
You don't sound even remotely bitter. No, not at all. The category, Packers No More. All the answers or all the questions are related to...
Is it K-N-O-W or N-O?
No, N-O. N-O. Good question, though. Very good follow-up question. I like that. Hunter, do you want to at least pick the caller since you didn't write the trivia questions?
Let's go caller 15.
Caller 15 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 15 plays trivia after Tausch tells us again about UW Credit Union.
Oh, indeed. For every U, UW Credit Union is here. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals and ask, what perks do you all get? Well, you get your money up to 2 days sooner with early payday. You don't have fees. You get that checking account with no monthly fees at UW Credit Union. You get unique, exclusive debit cards you only get at UW Credit Union. They've partnered up with the UW schools, teams, and artists to create debit card designs that are unique to you. They're out in the community. They're on these campuses. They're everywhere in the state of Wisconsin. We love UW Credit Union. Join today at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day, the Cardless talk and text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Cardless talk and text line. This is more.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Calling all seafood lovers, the lobster salad sub is officially back at Cousin Subs. Fresh lobster mixed with our creamy signature mayo, topped with tomato and onion, served over crisp lettuce, and finished with a sprinkle of Old Bay. All on our fresh-baked Italian bread. It's a crave-worthy classic you can enjoy in store, online, or on the app, but only through April 5th. So catch it while you can. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $1498 with a 1-carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Viroqua sophomore Elias Schwem. Schwem delivered a dominant postseason performance, pouring in 37 points, grabbing 14 rebounds, and adding 5 assists in Viroqua's 68-63 regional semifinal win over West Salem, the program's first regional semifinal victory since 2000. Earlier this season, she surpassed the 1,000-point career milestone as just a sophomore and is averaging 23 points per game, helping lead Viroqua to a 16-9 record. A standout 3-sport athlete who also competes in cross-country and track and field, Schwem continues to make her mark across every season. Congratulations to Elias Schwem, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Well, Hunter was not entrusted with the questions for Wilde and Tausch trivia, but he did get something else that we always love. Time now for trivia presented by Iron Jock and Cousin Subs.
Well, that button's not working, so...
Trivia is brought to you by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs, and I don't remember the rest. So we'll work on playing that after trivia, but we did get ourselves a first-time contestant. Let's welcome in Andrew in Milwaukee. Andrew, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We are great. I always ask this of first-time contestants. Long time trying to play trivia, or did you get in on the first time you tried?
Long time trying.
All right, well, let's make the most of it. It's not the number of calls you make. It's the making the most of the call or something like that. Question one is this. Quay Walker was selected with the 22nd overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Which fellow Georgia Bulldogs defensive player did the Packers select 6 picks later with the 28th overall pick in the same draft? Was it Devontae Wyatt, Eric Stokes, or why it's so hard to remember all the Georgia players Goody has drafted?
I think I'm going to go with Devontae Wyatt.
You would wisely do so. Indeed, Eric Stokes, the first-round pick in 2021. Question 2, Andrew, is this. Which of these teams did Malik Willis start against and not win during his 2 seasons as the backup quarterback with the Green Bay Packers?
Good question.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
There's no way Hunter would have come up with it. All right.
True.
Which of these teams did he start against but not win? Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens, or Indianapolis Colts?
I think it's the Ravens in 2025.
He beat the Titans. He beat the Colts. They lost to the Ravens. Probably not his fault he didn't play run defense in that game. And no one else did either. Andrew, question 3 is this.
Perfect week.
Kingsley Enagbare accumulated 1 fumble recovery during his 4 seasons with the Green Bay Packers.
That.
I think just read what it says. Accumulated, was credited with, had 1 fumble recovery during his 4 seasons with the Packers. It occurred in a December home game. The Packers lost at Lambeau Field. Which team was the opponent when Kingsley Enagbare got that fumble recovery?
This question sucks. For the record.
This is awful.
This is more like a me question.
Yeah, this is long and kind of boring.
Correct answer is Gerald Ford. All right, so against which opponent did Kingsley Enagbare have his lone fumble recovery of his Packers career in that fateful December home game that the Packers lost at Lambeau Field? Was the opponent the Baltimore Ravens, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Arizona Cardinals?
You said it was the Buccaneers, Ravens, or Cardinals?
Again, just to repeat, the Ravens, the Buccaneers, or the Cardinals?
The Buccaneers.
I gotta be honest. I have no idea how you did that. Would you admit that was
I
pure
just knew
luck?
we didn't play the Cardinals, and it was a trap shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. You did get it. That late season loss was on December 17th, 2023. They lost 34.
Baker carved us up that day.
Yeah, I think he had a perfect passer rating in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think then that was the day they decided was no longer going to be with the G&G. JB. Right?
Joe Barry. Yes.
Joe Barry.
Okay, yeah. But hey, Kingsley Enagbare had a fumble recovery that day, so the defense did something right. Andrew, what a debut! A miraculous correct answer on question 3, which sucked. You got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show and for playing today, Andrew. Have a good one. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, you too.
I got to be honest. I had to look that up, and once I remembered it was 2023, then I knew it was the Baker game. Hunter, how do you evaluate those questions?
I think I could have done better on this. This is where I'm starting to get a little frustrated about my shadow ban from trivia. Like, that's the question we go with on a Tuesday.
Is it shadow banning if you're upfront and super honest about being candid?
I'm upfront about it. Jesse skirts it, avoids answering. He won't acknowledge it.
Jesse has told us that you're not allowed. I don't think there's anything shadowy about your ban.
No, he's put like 2 producer suspension on. But at this point, I've filled in a number of times, and not even offered.
Yeah, you're right. It's a shadow ban because he does the show sheet even though you're producing, which we appreciate. But he could leave the trivia open for you to do, and he doesn't.
Correct.
So he does it, so you're not technically banned. He just already did it.
Yep.
In fairness to Jesse, everybody gives him grief for not wanting to work that hard, and then he does extra work when he is taking a day. I mean, you can't have it both ways. We can have it both ways.
You're right. Well, you can have your trivia questions and the day off too. I do
think I fixed the sponsorship though.
You should hit that button again.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I think it should work.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs. Their lobster salad sub is fresh, flavorful, and only here for a limited time. Try it today.
All right, we've got development, not free agent related. Josh DiMaggio. Sources close to the program says that he was asked to do the trivia questions and declined, which forced Jesse to do them. I think that makes it worse because that means he sought out someone else to do them, and it wasn't you.
Yep. Now
that's
I'm
a big slap to Hunter's face.
I would take that personally. You and Michael Jordan. All right. That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia, such that it is. We will not ban Hunter from Whoa Hunter, which is coming up after I tell you that you don't need to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship to feel like you've escaped. Your next getaway is waiting in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay, the biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee. Nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites, perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big. I've even stayed in one. They're beautiful. Plus, are you hungry? You got plenty of options. Premium steaks at Dream Dance Steakhouse, pizza, burrito, quick bites at the marketplace, rockin' brews for a high-energy vibe, the Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company, food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Whoa Hunter is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is ready to slip someone into a green jacket. The next tournament of the season is here, and there's $1,000 in cash prizes. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, inviting you to a two-man scramble at Georgia Golf Club, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's spacious, state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and all team must compete their round by March 31st. Who's walking away with the cash, and who's earning that green jacket?
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on. Then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel, and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products pricing and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Feeling lucky? Then roll into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee this March for Lucky Rollers. Every Thursday, we're giving away over $70,000 in prizes. Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries, and you can roll out with $550 in reward play. Or get lucky and win your share of $16,000 in cash. Lucky Rollers, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yuengling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yuengling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated. By drinking it. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Oh, what a great song to lead into potentially the best segment of the day. Time now for Whoa Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
So I've talked about before on this segment how I spend a ridiculous amount of time on TikTok, and I actually got a good topic idea off of it instead of just pointless, useless things.
Wait a minute. I see. So when Sydney plays in volleyball tournaments, I see girls from her team and other teams doing TikTok dances that they then post. Does that mean you and your wife are at home doing some dances that you're posting?
No.
Because I'm interested in you dancing. I got to be honest.
No, I don't do any dancing. I spend a lot of time on either sports or like movie TikTok, where people agree that Superman doesn't suck. But take that somebody had, or a question that somebody had, and I thought it'd be great for the show today. They wanted to know, what is your team's, quote, Jason Hayward? So a guy that comes onto the scene, is really good, but then doesn't long-term pan out. And the first guy for me that came to mind was the Milwaukee Bucks 6th overall pick, Yi Jianliang, who was the player of the month when he first came to the Bucks in December of 06, that would have been, but then obviously his career didn't do anything. So who's the guy that you think of when you think of somebody like that?
Can I ask a follow-up question first?
Yeah.
What exactly... Jason Hayward... he played for Houston? Who does he play for?
Oh, now I have no idea, but his first year with Atlanta, he hit like 293, and then I think he maybe hit 270 one time after that.
Apparently he's with the Padres now, or was with the Padres.
Wow.
Dude's played 16 years in the Major League Baseball, by the way. Longer than Yi did in the NBA.
So he's lasted a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, he's lasted, but I'm saying, like, for what his first season was, he was not what you're like, oh my gosh, this young guy is doing this. He's going to elevate to this next level, and he never did that.
Career 255 hitter, a 336 OBP.
All right, I'll answer the question, even though it's very abstract, and Jason had to go research who Jason Hayward even was. But Brady Anderson for the Orioles, nothing, 50 home runs one season, nothing. So Brady Anderson is the answer that I'm going to give you.
No idea who that is.
Oh, the shoe's on the other foot now. Didn't he get caught up in the performance-enhancing realm after that 50 home run season as well? So Sam Gatto doesn't count? That's counts. Who I thought of first.
Yeah.
One of Tausch's former teammates, the doctor, now. Josh DiMaggio chimes in with Keston Hiura.
Oh, that was magical when he was just raking for about a month and a half.
Young guy who never turned into a superstar is the definition that some are sharing with me. This is a good question. I'm just not. Sam Gatto was pretty weak sauce by me. I'm trying to think of Packers who fit this bill. I will say, given the hype around him during training camp and the first week or two of his rookie season, I thought that Luke Musgrave was going to be like the second coming of Jermichael Finley. Not much for blocking, but a lot of catches and a lot of down-the-seam big plays. I don't know if that makes him Jason Hayward or not.
Whoa, Nelly! The last one I've got here for you guys, the World Baseball Classic is going on, and in Japan, they're playing in the Tokyo Dome. They have a ice cream sandwich that is shaped like the Tokyo Dome. I've got it up on the stream for people to see. So the top of it looks like the Tokyo Dome, and then the inside, it is wall-to-wall ice cream. And I think this is the perfect ice cream sandwich, and now I want to see AmFam Field do this. But is there like another stadium that you think this could work with?
Why is it the perfect ice cream sandwich?
Because most other ice cream sandwiches, you only have stuff on the top and the bottom. This is fully encased in cone.
And that's like ice cream cone substance?
Yeah.
Not like the traditional American ice cream sandwich, which has got that chocolatey outside that then gets stuck to your finger.
Oh, so that's crispy. The edges there are crispy.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now. The crispy cone-like exterior has me intrigued. I will give Hunter that. I am intrigued.
So what would be a good stadium for them to do this with? Because you can't do like Lambeau because it's got the open top. Then you're just eating out of a Lambeau bowl.
Oh, good point. What? So would you?
That is a good point.
Wait a minute. The roof at AmFam Field is retractable. So do you only put it over like half of the ice cream?
Or you have to like kind of break it open like those little like chocolate things where they pour a hot substance on it and it breaks open.
Yeah, the yes.
Some fine dining at AmFam.
These
in
are
the
some
middle of
great
July.
ideas. I can't believe, for as obscure as I was struggling with Jason Hayward, this is a good topic.
Well, thank you.
So what's your answer?
I thought did I not just give it with the retractable roof?
He kind of did.
Not only that, I innovated. I did
Hunter
a Tausch.
Hunter said
upgraded
AmFam Field. Okay. I want an open air. I want an open air stadium. I want it just to be one side where if you're looking to cut cows, you don't want to have a double edge. So I want open air. I'm going to say Fenway Park. I want one side of it to be a big green monster and the other just to be kind of open air. So I'm going to go Fenway Park.
That's great because then the green the monster, you could make that like a piece of mint. So then if you've got the cone...
Well, not for Tausch. She hates mint.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
Then you could make it optional. You could have some green painted chocolate or something.
Green painted chocolate. All right, we've gone... We've gone beyond our.
We're going to get to Rich Eisen today on time, which is good.
After Tausch tells us about prize picks one more time.
Oh, I will. Right now, download that prize picks app. It is the perfect time of the year, March, to get started on prize picks. You got all these games going on. Grab your phone, download the prize picks app, use code WI. You get $50 in lineups when you get that first $5 lineup. It is simple to play, pick more or less. On 2 to 6 player stat projections, you get them right, you cash in. You can build lineups across everything, but boy, oh boy, can't say that term, but you know what's going on in this month of the year. I've got to be very cautious with that. I like the flexibility as well. Flex play, you can get paid even if one pick misses and you want a bigger payout. Go power play, and you have the early payouts. Your player gets off to a hot start. Cash in before the game even ends. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code WI, and you will get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, use code WI for the $50. Prize Picks, it's good
to be right. We'll wrap things up in time for Rich Eisen next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall, home to your one-stop must-stop viewing destination. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
The Greater Milwaukee Golf Show, presented by Old Fashioned Golf, is back at the Mosh Performance Center in Franklin, March 13th through the 15th. The show has been reimagined with a simple goal: turn it into Wisconsin's ultimate golf party. That's why Vibes Golf Club, a group of golf-loving former Badger football players, including Melvin Gordon, will be at the show all 3 days. Plus, Bridgestone will be doing some ball fittings, and Carl's Place will be powering Simulator Alley. To learn more, log on to GreaterMilwaukeeGolfShow.com.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way.
That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian, screaming Sicilian.
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
Well, March hoops are here, and it is one of the best times of the year to be watching sports. And right now, download the Prize Picks app. Use code WI. You get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI, and suddenly every dunk, every three, every big performance matters even more. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If your picks are right, you cash in. You can build lineups across basketball, hockey, baseball, college hoops, whatever you're watching. I like the flexibility too. With Flex Play, you can still get paid even if one pick misses. Want a bigger payout? Go Power Play. And with early payouts, if your player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out before the game ends. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
The Bucks have the power to force Giannis to say, I want out.
Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Reminder, I'm there right now, nba.com/Bucks/Plus, the joint venture with Good Karma Brands and the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks Plus, they've got Bucks in 6 minutes. They've got Courtside with Gail Klappa. They've got the Here District with Marcus Johnson. And, of course, they've got Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Right now, the Bucks take on the world, narrated by the legendary comedian and sometimes guest of our show. We've had him on a while back. You can tune into that on the Bucks Plus audio network. Bucks Plus, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Tausch, we'll talk more about your really good question, getting a lot of feedback on social media. In Goody we trust. We'll even get a poll question posted by tomorrow before we do so. Anything to add?
No, I'm a little surprised we have not heard more today. Very quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
I don't know if we've updated any of Shefty's tweets, but the fact that there's been no Sheeto and there's been no Romeo Dobbs news, it's not earth-shattering, but very surprising, because when you start looking at whether it was Matty Bowen or everybody's free agent list, these guys were in a lot of the top 20.
Right.
And typically the top 20 to 25 guys, they're gone day one, day two. A lot of day left, a lot of negotiating I'm sure that is still going on, but I will be very curious what those numbers look like when they'd end up signing more than likely somewhere else. But the longer they don't, you never know if they can come back.
We will do it again tomorrow. Rich Eisen starts next and on time. That's it for us today. Thanks to Evan Cohen, and thanks to you for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
At Associated Bank, we get life gets complicated. So